Welcome to one of my favorite videos of the entire year. I'm not kidding, I love this video. I don't know if it's everyone loves this video or if it's just me because I'm talking about my favorite books and I get to look at like what my favorite books are. So we're doing, well, there's gonna be two parts, potentially three. The main part is talking about my top 25 books in order. I've gone through, every time I do this, I think this is this my second or third year doing this? When I do this, it takes me so long. I look back at my list hundreds of times, I'm not kidding. I'm still not 100% confident. I still feel like some of them I might change like as we're talking. Why is the light? I don't know what's going on with the lighting. My window's open, but it's like really gray outside, but also Luna's looking out the window, so I'm doing my best. I can't tell if it's too light or too dark. Whatever. Y'all are here anyway. So let's just get started. Oh, I didn't tell you part two. So part one is my top 25 books of 2025, which is getting hard. The more we do this, the more books I have to add. And it's getting really hard because it's not like I read like 25 amazing books. Like, you know, once we get down to like that 20 to 25 era, down at the bottom of the list, I'm like, well, does this book really deserve to be here? But I gotta find 25, so like I guess. But those last like three are questionable. They're Also, it's the beginning of December, so like who knows what I'm gonna read this month. Maybe it would have made it to the list. And then part two is gonna be, okay, the cats are just going crazy right now. Part two is gonna be 26 books to read in 2026, and we're gonna go over the books that I put for 25 books to read in 2025 and see if I read those. It's a lot. Coming up with 26 books? Why is that so difficult? And like just thinking about how it's just gonna go up and up and up. We gotta find 27 the next year and 28 and 29. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of ridiculous, but let's get started in our top 2025. No. Let's get started with our top 25 books of 2025. We had honestly an amazing year. I found some of my favorite all-time books and like changed me at my core books. Obviously, we're not gonna get there yet because we gotta start with number 25. Oh, I forgot I put an honorable mention because I just had a feeling it would make the top 25 somewhere. I just haven't read it yet. I'm literally reading it right now and I know I'll finish for the end of the year because it's bookstore. Am I drunk? It's for book club. I know it's gonna end up being finished. Odds are it'll make the list over some of these at the end. So it's Brimstone by Callie Hart, the second in Quicksilver. Quicksilver is one of my top reads last year, so odds are it would make it. But starting at number 25, this was my, I don't know what else to add, so I don't know if it deserves to be here, but it's Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Everyone loves this book. This is probably on a lot of people's top reads of the year. I don't know. I was bored the first like half, and then the second half I really liked, and I think that it had some really good quotes. It hasn't really stuck with me. Like I haven't really thought about it since. And like I don't really care to read the rest of the series. I honestly don't really even remember how it ended. I tabbed it. There's a couple tabs in here, so some things were worthy. It gets number 25. Sorry. And then my one and only, what was that? Only, oh my god. That really scared me. It was Lunafer. Fuck your Lunafer. That made my whole body itch. Hold on. Ugh, couldn't have predicted that. Okay, my first and only stand-in. I own all of my other top 25 books, which is kind of crazy. This one, it's supposed to be The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. Pretend it's that, okay? That gets number 24, shockingly. I went into it expecting like nothing, just like a cheesy little rom-com, and really, really loved it. Now, that being said, I agree kind of with Beartown, where I haven't really thought about it much. Like, I really loved it at the time, and I thought it was funny. And now like that I'm speaking about it, I don't really remember like core plot points. So it was one of those where I don't know what else to add to this list, but I know I had a really good time at the time. Will I ever reread it or think about it again? No. Which I think is like a huge criteria for making this list, especially when we get to like top 10, top 15. I need to like be able to want to reread it, you know? It needs to be something where I want to revisit the story over and over again. All right, number 23. We have Daydream by Hannah Grace. I went into this with super low hopes because I didn't really like Wildfire. Loved this couple, loved this story, loved how sweet they like treated each other. There was never anything like huge drama. There was nothing like that kind of pissed me off. off. They were just sweet, and I loved it. It made me cry. I just loved how they loved each other. This feels off-center. I feel like I'm leaning, and I don't feel like leaning the entire video. And that's about it. I just really loved it. Just is a sweet story. I liked it more than The Paradise Problem. That's about it. That's the criteria that it met to make it to this number. Number 22, The Conditions of Will. This one was really unique to me, and I really loved how we went through our main character's mind of how she can read people and like their facial structure, like every little twitch in their face, every little hand movement she could read, and kind of walked us through it. So I loved that aspect. And then I also loved the romance aspect, you know, like it was juicy. The family secrets were crazy. The family drama was crazy. I wanted to punch every other character, every other page, but I had a fun time, you know, and the cover is beautiful. Look at this cover. Are you kidding me? And she also touched on religion in a way that most books like rarely do. Like I feel like we don't talk about religion a lot in the books that I'm reading because I'm not a religious girl, and I liked her take on religion. I like how she talked about it. And it takes place in a city I lived in, so that was fun to read. 21, shockingly low on the list. We have Onyx Storm. I knew it was gonna make the list. I didn't realize how low it was going to be when I was working out the numbers. I think it made the list just because I love this world so much, and I love these characters, and I love the dragons and all of the side characters, like everything as one, loved. So I think that's why it made the list. But the story and the plot itself and where we took the plot, didn't love, was confused, and was pissed at the end. So I don't know. It's like I had a good time being in the world. I didn't have that great of a time reading this specific plot, if that makes sense. Still excited for the next one, but have high hopes for the next one because it's lost me more and more each book, and it needs to pick back up. It needs to bring me back into the world. Next, we have Rewind It Back at number 20. This one honestly may be my least favorite in the series. It's either this or Play Along, just because I felt the least connected to Rio, but I couldn't have a Windy City book be a new release this year and it not make my top 25 because that's one of my favorite series of all time. It is kind of low though. Like number 20 for the entire year is kind of crazy considering Caught Up, book number 3, was my number 1 book of the year last year. So going from Caught Up in The Right Move, which The Right Move probably made like top 10. I don't remember what it was, but it was in the top 25. And this being number 20 is kind of a letdown, but I still loved it. I grew for, is it Hallie? Yeah, Hallie and Rio. I grew to love them. I don't connect them the way I did other characters in the series. So she did make number 20 for me, even though I do think it was a really nice full circle moment to end the series. At number 19, we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. My first V.E. Schwab book. I wouldn't say this book was like breathtaking or like it wasn't the most amazing book in the world, and there were definitely parts that I was a little bored at, and the end really annoyed me, so it sounds like I didn't really even like it. But it was unique. It was a vampire story. It was a lesbian vampire story. Just like there were parts when I think back on it, I had a really good time. I think just like in the moment, it was too long. So it's not like a 5-star read or anything like that, but very cool. And I think definitely worth the read. And when I think back on my reads, this is definitely like one of the most fun ones I had of the year. So like when I take it for like face level, like surface level, really good time. And that's about all I have to say for that. Number 18, a huge surprise for me, Don't Let the Forest End. This was my first book by C.G. Drews. I had never even heard of this author, had no idea who this was. They have a new release, Hazelthorn, that just came out that I've seen a lot more people talk about. So Don't Let the Forest End really took me by surprise. It's not a book that I usually gravitate towards, like this type of writing and like genre. I don't even know what genre it would be. It's like kind of body horror, but not, I literally don't even know what genre this is. Also, the back, stunning. Like when I think back on this, I have such warm feelings about this book. I love this book and I would absolutely reread this book. So she takes number 19. Nope, she took 18. Then we go into 17, which is Zodiac Academy. You know, in the past when I read long series and I think that they all deserve to be in the top, I've put them all in the top at their like respective places. I'm not doing that for Zodiac Academy. I've read 4 so far and I do not think all 4 deserve a space. Taking 4 spots in my top 24 because they all just run together in my head. It's all the same book. It's like one giant book of 3,000 pages because they're all so long, but they all take place in like the span of a month basically. So I can't differentiate them enough to make them have their own spots. Pretend this is just like all of Zodiac Academy that I've read so far at number 17 because it's a good time. I enjoy them. I just think they're like a tad long, but I enjoy my time when I'm reading them and I fly through them. So number 16, we have Pucking Strong Strong. Y'all know how I feel about the Pucking Around series. One of my favorite series of all time. I think it's like very underhyped in the sense of just being a sports romance book. I think that when people think about the series, they just think about the smut. And the stories themselves in these books, they're so beautiful. Mostly all queer love stories, and they're just so beautiful. This one had me sobbing, absolutely sobbing, like the entire time. I loved it so much, so I know she definitely deserved. I think she took the place for my second favorite in the series, which is huge. So Pucking Strong gets number 16. We are at 15. Another Jessa Hastings book, which this is not the last you'll see either. Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. Another beautiful cover, of course. The third in the series and the second Magnolia Parks book. I went into this not really excited because I don't love Magnolia or BJ. I think they're both really fucking annoying. The end, honestly, is what brought this up. And like finding out the little details that you don't know in the first book, like you don't know why they're acting a certain way in the first book, and in this one you find out a lot of those details. So that was fun to find. I mean, it wasn't fun at all. I literally didn't have fun reading this the entire time. I'm not kidding. But memorable, and the end was crazy. The end is what brought it up for me. I really, really loved the end because of how crazy it was. She earned her spot. My back is hurting. We're getting it. Okay, the top 14 are like some of my favorite books ever, 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 ever. I really love all of these books, and I think about them all the time. Like my top 14, iconic, honestly, if you were to ask me. Oh, these next three are the ones that I can't figure out what order I want them in because it feels kind of crazy, the order that I have them in. I'll figure it out. Number 14, I have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, my first Hannah Bonham Young book, and has set the standard for her books. It's been my favorite of hers. I've read 3 of them now, and the other 2 didn't make the list. So this is the only one that made the list. It was honestly perfection. It was the one night stand pregnancy trope. Wynn and Bo are like 2 of my favorite characters now. Just they're so sweet. I love a sweet love story. Like there's nothing dramatic. I mean, it's very dramatic, but like there's no like toxic drama happening. It's just very mature, and like they communicate and they just love each other, and I love them so much. They're both dealing with like their own struggles, and we talk about their struggles, and it just makes me so emotional, and I love it so much. It's just such a beautiful love story. So she's a 5-star read. She was definitely making the top. And then, okay, these 2, it feels crazy to put this one below the one in front of it, but I have my reasons. Okay, next, lucky number 13, we have Alchemized. Just because last year Manacled I think was like top 5, or was that the year before? I don't know, but Manacled was top 5 for me. It honestly may be top 1 or 2 when I did read it. It was 2 years ago when I read it. Alchemized just is slightly below Manacled for me. I like the original story a lot more, and for some reason that just made me like not be able to put this much higher, because Manacled was just that girl for me, and I think about Manacled all the time, and I will continue to think about Manacled over Alchemized. Even though it's the same story, same plot, same ideas, Manacled holds a special place in my heart over Alchemized. Was this a phenomenal book? Yes. If I hadn't read Manacled, would this be top 5? Probably. I just can't. I don't know how to explain it better than I just can't. So it's number 13. And then this is the book that I was kind of embarrassed to put it over Alchemized, just because of how phenomenal of a book that is. But you have to understand, it's just because of Manacled. It's just because I like Manacled that much more than Alchemized. Which, if you don't know, it's the Manacled is the fan fiction, and Alchemized is the fan fiction brought to life, like the published version of that. Number 12 If It Makes You Happy. I adored this fucking book, and I cried the entire time. So it feels weird putting it above, like it feels like a silly little romance that I'm putting above the crazy fantasy world of Alchemized and that darkness, but I have to. I don't know how else to explain it. This was a perfect read for me. Was this a 6-star read? No, I think it was a 5-star read. Everything about it, I cried. I loved the family. I loved them. I loved the way they communicated. I love her representation because I feel like I can relate to her. Sorry, sue me. Sue me. It's going above. Number 11, another 5-star read. Don't hate me. Fearless. I loved Fearless. I know there are people out there that don't, but I loved this book. I literally gave it full 5 stars. Like, I would absolutely reread this book. I had a great time reading it. I think Kai and Peyton are 2 of my favorite characters ever. sorry, I guess I'm just easy to please in a romantasy world. And it's YA, so like I'm extra easy to please in a YA romantasy world. There just wasn't a whole lot of like super deep depth going on that I like needed to read into, and it's just romantasy at surface level. I loved it. Sorry. I'm not gonna apologize for my top 10 at all. These top 10 books I think about almost every day. I'm not kidding. All right, so number 10. We have my third Jessa Hastings book. I'm like embarrassed because she is a wacko. I learned she was a wacko after I read all these books. So don't yell at me. I love this book. Never. I have talked about this book to so many people. I one time sat down and told Logan the entire plot start to finish because I was so obsessed with this book, and I have been waiting for the second one for so long. There's just something about Peter Pan that I love the story of Peter Pan anyway. I always have, and this retelling of Peter Pan was so good. And the ending really got me. I love an ending that will gag me, and this one gagged me. I need the second one immediately, and I absolutely will reread this. Number 9. It has come to my attention, and I only noticed it because I'm alternating colors on my numbers, and my colors didn't match up. So it's come to my attention. I skipped an entire book, and I'm so pissed about it. Number 10 was Never. Number 9 is supposed to be Saving 6, not 6 of Crows. 6 of Crows was supposed to be 8. So I missed an entire Boys of Tommen book. So number 9 is Saving 6. And I don't have to talk about it because it's Boys of Tommen. So I knew I was gonna fuck up at least once, and I did. I love this book, 6 of Crows. This was one of the most fun reads of the year. Like, not necessarily the most like emotional read, because I love an emotional read. Obviously, you're gonna see most of these books that are up here I have sobbed my heart out to. It did make me cry, shocker. Like, it still made me cry, but it wasn't like a super emotional read. It's a YA like fantasy again. It's like a heist, and it was just such a fun read. I have been putting off reading Crooked Kingdom because it's just a duology and I don't want it to end. But I love this book. I would absolutely reread this book. Number 8. I need this book to be made into a movie so I can rewatch it over and over and over again. The Favorites by Lane Fargo. The juice that is in this book is insane. The toxicity, which sometimes I don't like. Super toxic, like in Magnolia Parks, it kind of annoys me. But this hooked me from like 10 pages in. I'm not kidding. It hooked me from 10 pages in and had me until the very end. I remember reading and I had half of a book left, and I was like, how do I still have 200 pages to go? Like, it felt like a full novel in the first 200 pages. I was happy and content with like a full start to finish. I would have been like, wow, amazing read, 4.5 stars. And I still had half a book left. There was so much drama, so much juice. And it's told in the same way, like a documentary style, where like some of the chapters are documentary for the people that were around their life at the time, and then the other POV is her telling her story. So you're getting like both sides of the story, and it's just so fucking good. And cried a lot. I felt every emotion you could imagine reading this book. Literally every emotion you can imagine. An exhausting read, honestly, because it was whiplash. It was emotional whiplash, but good nonetheless. I am starving. I really am. Like, I feel like I need energy to talk about these last books, and I don't have it. I don't have energy because I haven't eaten today. I'll drink my matcha. Number 6, my favorite number, which feels perfect to start off my run of the Boys of Tommen. So we have Binding 13. This is the book that changed my year of reading. This began a spiral of obsession, a spiral of need for these books, this series. I have not been the same since reading this series. I'm not kidding. And for the first book to be lowest, actually one of the books in the series didn't make the list. Taming 7 did not make the list, but I have never read a series where every single book, except the one, every single book was 5 or 6 stars. That has never happened to me. And it wasn't just like a willy-nilly, here's 5 stars. It was a true 5-star read. I read all of them and then re-listened to them multiple times. It is a perfect book. It is emotionally damaging, and I actually don't think that you should start the series at all, but a perfect book nonetheless. I have not been the same since I read these books. I think about them daily. I'm not kidding, daily. There are so many songs that could play, and they bring me right to this book and this series as a whole. But I do think, like, ranking them is so hard. I do think if I were to rank them, obviously the least is the Taming 7 that didn't even make the list, but this would probably be last. Just because it's the start of the world, it's the least I cried, died. So it's like meeting everyone, falling in love with everyone. Still super fun, and this was a 5-star read. Just if I have to rank them, which I am, I have to because it's what I'm doing, this would probably be last. Oh my god, that's actually crazy. We're on top 5. Top 5! Who's excited? And 3 of them are from the same series. Oh, sorry. Top 5. The most recent one, releasing 10. This was, I think if I were to put a label on hardest read I've ever had in my entire life, this is the hardest read I have ever had. How many pages is it? 730 pages of consistent heartbreak. Consistent. Heartbreak, gut-wrenching. The worst pains you could imagine for fictional characters is this book. I think it would be higher if Lizzie, because this is Lizzie's book, I think it would be higher if Lizzie was like my favorite character. It could easily be number 1. She's just so happens to be my least, well, not my least, but like one of my least favorite characters in the series. So I had to grow to love her. I had to like learn to love her through this book. So she did make top 5 though. Genuinely one of the hardest books I've ever had to read. I mean, I didn't have to. My hands weren't tied. But number 4, I'm kind of curious if y'all can like guess my top 5. I mean, obviously you know the Boys of Tommen are in them, but these next 2 books are not Boys of Tommen, okay? My number 4, which I feel like is a shock because at the time when I finished it, it wasn't a 5-star read. It's one of the books that has stayed with me the entire year. I think about it all the time. I want to get a tattoo for it, and I could talk about them all day long. Number 4 goes to Song of Achilles, and I just so happened to have gotten my special edition yesterday. Oh, and it's so beautiful. Like, just thinking about Achilles and Patroclus makes me cry. Literally just thinking about them makes me cry. I went into this not knowing a single thing about it. I didn't even know it was queer. I literally didn't even know it was queer. So 1, finding out that it's 2 like young boys falling in love, gut-wrenching. Finding out that it's more of a tragedy than a love story, gut-wrenching. I also didn't know how it ended. Did not know, and it took me so off guard. I literally almost threw up. Like, I was so unwell. I was so unwell. Watching them fall in love at such a young age too, watching Patroclus's backstory and then how his life changed, everything with Achilles. Oh my god. It is gut-wrenching. Borderline ruined my life. So I will be getting a tattoo at some point for this. I just don't know what yet. I can't decide. Now, number 3. We're in our top 3. Top 3 books. This was hard to put at number 3, but I have my reasons, my justifications. Number 3, it is the only, thank God, honestly, it's the only book in this series that I read this year. Last year, I had read 1 through 7. The entire freaking top 25 was filled with these books. So luckily, this is the only one that had to be put in for this year. We have Kingdom of Ash. Obviously a phenomenal book. The world building, like, you know it. You don't need to listen to me talk about it. My only reason for it being number 3 is because there are significant chunks and parts of this book that I was bored, that I didn't really care about the plot lines. There were a couple plot lines I just didn't care. Also a couple plot lines that like pissed me off beyond reason. Like, I was so fucking pissed. I really just looked forward to like 3 plot lines the most for a book this big, which you could say like it's a huge book. Of course you're going to be bored at some parts. I wasn't in Alchemized. I was not bored, and Alchemized is bigger. So it's a 980 something page book. Obviously it's the end of the series. The entire world is coming to a close. So yes, when I think back, I want to reread it. I want to revisit the story all the time. Comparing it to my 1 and 2, it is not perfection in a book. It didn't even get 5 stars. It got like 4.75, I'm pretty sure. Yes, overall, surface level, top read of the year, for sure. But diving in, too many pages in the middle that aren't, like, if I were to reread them, I would probably skim those parts. Number 3. All right, number 1 and 2. These are so hard to decide which one I like better. It really is. I think I have decided, but I think it would also take a reread for me to really firmly stand on which one I like better. But we have number 2, Keeping 13. This is the one I have a tattoo for. I have 4 keeps tattooed on my neck. It's like deciding if I like Johnny and Shannon or if I like Joey and Aoife better. That's like, how am I supposed to pick? Such different vibes, such different like maturity levels in their relationships. It's just such a different vibe of a book, you know? Like this, we're following Shannon's tragic backstory and Johnny being there for her versus, I mean, I'm like going ahead and showing you my number 1 is Redeeming 6 versus Joey's tragic backstory and Aoife being there for him. And I just feel like like there's so much more in Redeeming 6 and so much of a different maturity level in Redeeming 6 that like Binding and Keeping 13 are like my OGs. So like I love them with all my heart and I would die for Johnny and Shannon. I think they're at number 2 though, just because Redeeming has so much in it. Like Joey and Aoife go through so much shit and there are so many levels and layers to their relationship, and just Joey himself, I love Joey. I love Joey so much it hurts. It literally hurts. Like this series has actually taken over my life and I need it to stop. Number 1 will, I think, be Redeeming 6. So if you take away anything from my top 25, don't read Boys of Tommen because it will ruin your life. Truly. Don't do it. That is it for my top 25 in 2025. I'm gonna take a slight little break, go eat a little snacky because I'm starving, and then we're gonna go over the 26 books I want to read in 2026. Okay, I'm back. Who's excited? Luna just sat her head up like I personally offended her. Like as if I just grabbed her tail and yanked it. That's how she just looked at me. She's pissed. She's like, why the fuck are you yelling? Okay, I made a new matcha. I had my lavender honey matcha, which, did I tell you all that? Anyways, trying to fix the light here. Don't mind me. Now my thing's gonna die. Are you kidding me? I can't stand camera batteries. I'll be back. Woo, we're back. Again, we're gonna be talking 26 books I wanna read in 2026. Now, obviously I did this last year. I always set the first chunk, like the first amount, and then halfway through the year, I'll see if I wanna change anything. So going off of my mid-year check-in from this past year, I'm gonna read off the 25 books I said I wanted to read in 2025, and we'll see what I read. I start off strong. Now Stinky's at the door. If I have to get up one more time, I'm gonna lose it. I'm actually never gonna come back to this video because I'm gonna lose it. Stinky can wait. 25 and 25. This is not for next year, obviously. This is what was supposed to be this year. Phantasma, red. Kingdom of Ash, red. Onyx Storm, red. Brimstone, it will be red. It will be red in this month because it's book club, so will be red. Fearless, red. Rewind it back, red. This is golden. Pucking Strong, red. Say You'll Remember Me, red. Ballad of Never After, red. And A Curse for True Love. I finished both. Zodiac Academy, I did start. I just wanted to start it. It wasn't like finish the series. That would be crazy. And then our very first A Little Life, I still have not read. That has been on like this list since 2 years ago and I still haven't read it. Same with House of Leaves, still have not read it. Those two were probably my most intimidating books that I own. Out of the Woods, red. Six of Crows, red. Stephen King, red. I read Pet Sematary. Out on a Limb, red. The Favorites, red. Great Big Beautiful Life, I have not read. I had a lot of back and forth opinions that I saw, so I just haven't read it yet. I will. I just haven't yet. Ashley Poston, oh no, I haven't read Dead Romantics, but I've read all of her other ones. Book of Azrael, I have not read. There's a lot of non-checked off books coming. Conversations with Friends, did not read. Nothing Like the Movies, did not read yet. Solitaire, did not read. Kristen Hanna, did not read. I tried. I started Nightingale. I got 3 chapters in. Book Lovers, did not read. So we read, if I'm counting Brimstone, 16. 16 out of 25. I'll take it. That's only 9 books that I didn't read on this list. That's kind of impressive for me personally. All right, so let's get into the 26 books I want to read in 2026. A lot of these are either like books that have been on my TBR for a really long time, new releases, the next book in a series that I've been putting off, like those types of books, or books that have just like been on my radar for a really long time. Number 1, Daisy Hates. What am I on? The Great Undoing. I'm honestly scared it's gonna literally destroy me. I feel like I hear The Great Undoing the most. Like when people are talking about it, I feel like that's the title that I hear the most. So I'm like genuinely scared to read that. So it's number 1. The Love Hypothesis. I haven't read any Ali Hazelwood, like any of her real books. I've read a couple novellas, but The Love Hypothesis before the movie comes out, that's what I would like to read. Metal Slinger. Okay, these next 2, Metal Slinger and Direbound. Those are both 2 fantasies that I don't really know anything about, but I really, really want to read them. Direbound, I just heard something about direwolves and I was like, oh, okay, Game of Thrones. So I want to read those. And they're both on Kindle Unlimited, so I may one day. Hazelthorn. The second, I mean, it's not attached, but it's the same author as Don't Let the Forest End that we talked about earlier. So really, really want to read that. I just didn't want to buy the hardback. My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I've been told so many times to read this book and it needs to be done. I need to just try it because Beartown's the only one I've read of his, so I want to try a different one, and this is his newest release. Fairytale, another like random fantasy that I just hear a lot about, so I want to try it. It's just really big. Shadow and Bone and Crooked Kingdom. Those are both 8 and 9. Crooked Kingdom, I just need to finish. I need to stop putting it off. I need to finish. I just know I'm going to be obsessed with it. And then Shadow and Bone, I want to read so I can watch the show. I just only have the first one. I've also heard that it's not as good as Six of Crows. So. Number 10, The X-Files. This is one of those random romances that every time someone talks about it, it's like their favorite romance, even though it's just like a random romance. I don't know. It's a second chance romance from like a wedding. So like odds are I'll love it and I really want to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I've never read a Jessica Joyce and I really want to read some of hers if this is a good one. Oh, 11, Sunrise on the Reaping. I didn't read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and I saw the movie and I want to read Sunrise on the Reaping before the movie. But I also haven't read all of Hunger Games. So like I don't really, I mean obviously I know it's a prequel and I know it's Haymitch's story. So I don't know if it would hit harder if I read all of Hunger Games first or Sunrise on the Reaping first. 12, I'm leaving A Little Life on here. It's gonna stay. It's gonna stay. 13, Kristen Hanna's gonna stay. 14, some of these used to be on here and I had taken them off and I'm putting some of them back on. So 14, Wonderland by Jennifer Hillier. I still have not read another Jennifer Hillier book and I really want to. I really want to. 15, Ghosted. I'm in between Ghosted and Say You Swear. I started with Ghosted, now I kind of want to change to Say You Swear because I own Say You Swear. I don't own Ghosted, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna change that to Say You Swear. You know what? I'm just gonna say /Ghosted because in my mind those are the same books, even though they have absolutely nothing to do with each other and they're different authors. So 16, I'm leaving House of Leaves. 17, I put The Night and the Moth because I just bought that book. Night and the Moth. 18, the next Boys of Tommen book because I believe she's coming out with one in 2026. 19, the next Quicksilver book. The title is not released yet, but that will be coming out in November of 2026. 20, the next Dream Harbor book. She has the Daisy Chain one coming, I think in April or something like that. And it's just like an OCD thing where I have to read it because I've read them all. And I'm too far into the series to just be like, I'm not gonna read it. I may not buy it, but I'm gonna read it. And then 21, this was high hopes thinking that it will come out in 2026, but the Next Never book, like the Peter Pan retelling one that I talked about earlier. 22, North is the Night. It's back there. I don't feel like getting it. But that is by Emily Rath, who wrote the Pucking Around series. So I want to read, this is like her fantasy series, and I really want to try her fantasy series. She also has like a Regency series, and I want to try that too. I know they're queer as well. 23, we finally have, oh no, there was another one earlier, but With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. I never read that this year, and it's his newest release, and I want to read it because his latest book was a huge letdown for me, but I love all of his books other than his last one, Middle of the Night. 24, Crescent City. That is purely because I have heard that there are cameos from other books in that series and that before I read the next book that comes out, whenever the fuck that's gonna come out, I should read Crescent City. That's what I've been told. It's 3 really huge fucking books. So I have been putting them off. I've had like 0 interest in them, honestly, but I think it's mostly just because of how long they are. So if I can get them like on my Libby app, like on my Kindle, that would be fantastic. I actually have never thought about doing that. Let me do that right now. I'm gonna request it because I'm sure there's a wait. You can get a 3-book bundle. A 3-book ebook bundle of Crescent City. Place hold. 12 weeks wait. Oh, there's only 1 copy, obviously, and 5 people waiting. It's a 12-week wait. I can do that. That's nothing. I'm 6th in line for a 3-book bundle. I think you only get, how long do I get these for? 10 days or 2 weeks? And you want me to read all of those in 2 weeks? I'm gonna go ahead and request just the first book because I'm sure. I'm just gonna go ahead and place a hold and everything. Oh, I'm first in line for the first book. Okay, we may be reading this quicker than I thought. Because honestly, I don't know why I never thought about getting them on my Kindle because the books are just so scary to look at. Oh. The audiobook? Oh, it's a graphic audio. Could be fun. There's a 20-week wait for that one. Hold. Oh my god. Okay, there was no wait on that. I just borrowed the 3rd book. I didn't realize there wasn't a wait. Okay, anyways, we're back to business. Those are now on hold. 25, the next Abby Jimenez book, I don't know what the title is. I can't remember, but I know it's coming out. It's like already done. And then 26 is another Hermione fanfic. I've only read Manacled, like a true Hermione fanfic. I've only read Manacled. I want to read Secrets and Masks, or I know the auction. Obviously, I just read Rose and Chains, which is the published version of the auction. and I didn't like Rose in Chains like at all. It felt like a knockoff shitty version of Manacled. So I think I'm going to try Secrets and Masks, or ask my one friend who has read like a ton of Hermione. Actually, let me text her real quick and we'll see what she says is the best one. All right, I texted her. We'll see how long until she answers. But that is my 26 and 2026. We will see how that goes. I would like to say I'm gonna prioritize the books that have been on these lists the longest, but like, I don't know if that's gonna happen. A Little Life and Kristen Hannah and House of Leaves. Don't know if that's gonna happen, honestly. But I think that's it for this video. Is it? We talked my favorite books and we talked about what I want to read next year. I'm sure that list will change, especially as like new releases get announced. And I also made that list in about 5 minutes. So I'm sure there were books I forgot. And obviously, you know, I'll reread books next year too. So thanks for watching and I will see you tomorrow. What day was this? The light is in my eyes and I can't really see. Oh, was this day 6? That's like pretty soon. So I need to like get on this. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.